just very quickly, a cell size less than 5, we would reject, because then the chances of re-identification are higher. And that's a general rule, cell size less than 5. We would go from there in terms of, you mentioned a number of things that I'm not familiar with that I would need to consider. You said how many transformers are in the area, how many people in the house. These are very good questions that we would have to factor in. That might be a good paper or project to work on in this context. What would be sufficient to truly render the data anonymized with minimal risk and constitute aggregation, because it is extremely valuable to you. I totally understand, to have use of the data, and we want you to have use of the data too, because then we'll get the maximum return. How do you do that and render the data almost unidentifiable, or some term that gives us a sufficient comfort level for you to use it without concern? I'd be happy, if you want to give me your card afterwards, we can explore that, and I can have my team who's working on anonymization have an exchange with you. Thank you very much. I know I've gone on a little too long.
No, this has been great. I actually want to follow up on Monica's question, and then after this we'll move on to the next segment. So my understanding, or what I heard from you, is that by applying this privacy by design, and maybe the thing to do is think of this like a good housekeeping seal of approval, and that somebody who has this PBD on their website, it would be an endorsement that they're following these principles, and a consumer could see that. They wouldn't have to read the privacy policy. They'd say, oh, I know this is received the seal of approval, and I can feel comfortable that my data will be protected.
Very similar to that. We call them privacy by design ambassadors. Mm-hmm. So you can become an ambassador as an organization or an individual, and it is inherently that you accept the principles of privacy by design, are willing to work with them and apply them to your organization. You don't have to start from a perfect place. I know everyone is where they are, and as long as there is the desire and a willingness to start working on this and reflect these principles, then you become a privacy by design ambassador. And then we urge you to get the messaging out to your people and your audiences so that the message can grow.
Okay. And so with Energy Engage, you're suggesting we have a PBD logo on it. First, that we apply the principles, which I think we're doing, but then put the logo on the product somewhere.
And I think you do, with Energy.
Energy IP.
Yeah, IP, and the other one, you have an opt-in, you have many of the features which reflect the default. You're probably mostly there. So we would just work with you and see if there's any other areas that would need some movement, and then we'd be happy to make you an ambassador. Then you can go to Europe.
I think that may have happened already, actually.
Oh, did we? So you are, all right. Go to Europe, but for others.
We're on our way. So with that, I'd like to thank you very much again for coming out and presenting to us. Very nice to see you.